Hello, my name is Raymond Lucier, more known as Rambo Ray in the gaming world. I am the GM and the head coach of the Dallas Empire here at NVS. I played professionally, which is really where I started my kind of gaming career. It was in late 2008, so that's been, 12 years now. Won a few championships. My best finishes were second place at the Call of Duty Championships. Then I stopped competing in 2014. I went on to work at Sledgehammer Games and be a game developer. And then earlier this year, early to 2020, is when I first kind of came back to Call of Duty Esports and took on the role of the head coach / GM here at the Dallas Empire. So our season went pretty well, obviously with the ending result, but really what led up to that was the start of the year. I mean, we had a rough start. So my job as a head coach is kind of simple when you think about it. It's really making sure my team is the most prepared team to go to an event, whether it is online or is this in person. But really the basis of it is like trying to make sure that everyone understands what they should be doing at all times in the game. Like that's really kind of what the core comes down to. It sounds kind of simple, but there's so many things that go into it. I get to see a lot of things and reasons to why certain things happen on the map. And the game we played last year was a little kind of frustrating in that end. There are a lot of the things that they knew were logical in the past didn't really kind of make sense from that standpoint. So there was a lot of adjustments that needed to be made when I first joined the team that weren't really understood yet. So I was really there to help facilitate that learning and really kind of, if they wanted to try something, I could give them the results on the spot of what they did and really get that understanding quickly and be able to move on from that kind of discussion or errors. I feel like that's really what I brought the most when I first joined the team. And again, in the later stage of the year, it become more about making sure that we're preparing what we need to prepare on every maps and modes without saying too much and how we did that. But really kind of, again, the preparation aspect was definitely the leading point of what I was doing towards the end of the year. Like we had the really new guys and the really old guys, and then Kyler's kind of Hugh was kind of in the middle. When I first joined, the team dynamic was very much kind of the older guys just really telling the younger guys what they thought and what they wanted from them at all times. There wasn't very much back and forth. Like the young guys weren't necessarily doing their duties to help the older guys understand things. And that's one thing that really kind of pushed the element. And I feel like Crim6 as well was one of the players who really kind of made it to light, whereas because it was hard sometimes for the younger guys. Like the Crim and Clay were very much kind of on, constantly going at him about information and really kind of making sure that they were getting better, which is what you want. And to that aspect as well, the attitude from the young guys on the receptive aspect was amazing. I've teamed with a lot of players in my life, and I don't think I've ever teamed with players that were that receptive as individuals and not able to, basically not disable themselves to take feedback because it's not being given in the best way. And that's one thing that we changed when I came in I'd say about a month or two later, was really kind of understanding hey, the young guys have minds of their own and they see things as well, right? Because it's hard for a player to always improve on his own. And it's good to have teammates and people that see things you're doing. And once especially the younger guys figure things out and when they got the ball rolling really on their own play, instead of just being kind of a one-way street for feedback, it became a two-way street. And that's when the communications line when we practiced and everything went on just kind of increased to a point where it was just really the best working environment I've ever been a part of on the team. So what changed for Shotz through the year really was the role change. So he started off as kind of the support player role, which doesn't really the support playing role is a very difficult role. And Hugh did that for us for most of the year after the change was made. And he's an amazing player, really honestly, in my opinion, was probably the best support player all year. But Shotz obviously is a skillful talent. We have a bunch of skill on our team, but Shotz was a player that needed more freedom on the map to be able to move around the way he wanted to. When you play the support roles the way he did, you're kind of forced into taking certain routes off every spawn, which makes your kind of ability to make plays out of that very difficult. And for a new player like himself, it was kind of hard to understand how to make those plays and when to make the right decisions and not the right decisions. For lack of a better term, he was taking the shackles off him. He just kind of free roamed and started learning the game a lot quicker because he was able to make more mistakes on routes and really kind of able to see what worked and what didn't. And two, his movement just kind of went from 0 to hero. He was always technically talented, but his skill set just improved greatly when he was able to just kind of roam around the map and do what he wanted to do from a sling standpoint. And then as the year went on, we kind of started molding all the pieces together, and that's when we kind of we took our stride in the end of the year and really kind of coming through and beating FaZe, I'd say pretty convincingly in the finals, stemmed from all those things that we did throughout the year and the role changes and everyone being comfortable with what they're doing. So So yeah, I'd say the 3 pillars of success for us this year are definitely, I'd say one, communication is really kind of the stemming point of everything that we've done. And it sounds kind of cliche, but really the way we communicated through the second half of the season, I thought was incredible. And just the attitude was always there, but just again, the two-way kind of transition point from the players, young players and older players talking and really not wasting any second we had in scrims to really make sure we're getting better was obviously one of the main pillars. The second one I'd say is really kind of understanding our roles and really making sure that everyone's comfortable with the role they're playing in. That wasn't always perfect through the year, and it kind of went up and down. Like we had, it wasn't like it was bad, then good, and just stayed good. Like it was kind of a roller coaster. I'd say the third pillar, which is kind of a weird one to say, but we really pushed our peaking moments at the right times. We wanted to make sure that we're getting better for the big events that meant a lot to us. I'm not saying that after we won an event, we didn't try to win the next event, but we were a little more restrictive on what we wanted to kind of get better at. Choosing our moments to peak really kind of stemmed from the decisions we made behind the scenes to get better at certain things, and that's really kind of, to me, was the driving factor of what made us win champs. Coaching is incredibly stressful. You have zero control of what happens, right? You're just watching and you're just there like, I'm just jiggling my leg and I'm just trying to figure out, okay, how do I pass time? It's almost better not to watch. It made it that much more exhilarating when we did come out on top. I screamed my head off. It was exciting. Everyone's super happy. I love the day-to-day of coaching, but honestly, like the worst part of coaching, in my opinion, is definitely the watching them compete, which sounds crazy, but it really is. Thanks for watching the Predator Training Room with your boy Rambo Ray, Dallas Empire head coach. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any feedbacks or comments how we can make this better, always share. And there's plenty of other content out there with the Predator Training Room that can make you guys better players, better individuals, and really prepare you for what's out there in the esports world. I hope you guys enjoy this. Have a good one.